So the names and faces that you just saw show that the Grady Fellowship, which includes the Sanford Circle, is a singular group of alumni and friends whose lives, careers, and remarkable love for Grady began the tradition of this evening back in 2008. So it's the 10-year anniversary tonight. It's a big night. It's a milestone evening for this event, this gala. Please join me now in welcoming Jennifer Sloan, Grady Fellow Class of 2015 and President of the Grady Board of Trust and Vice President of Public Policy for MasterCard Canada.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, Brooke. It's my honor as a member of the fellowship to take part in this ceremony that inducts the 2018 class. The Grady Fellowship is one of the most meaningful of groups I have ever been a part of. It is a special form of friendship. It is conferred honoris causa for the sole sake of honor by the Grady Board of Trust on behalf of the college. Fellows don't need another award or another board to serve on. They honor Grady just by being, and by being who they are for our students, for Grady, and for the University of Georgia. The medal we bestow tonight ties them to us forever. Will all the fellows that are with us this evening please stand to be recognized?
Okay, let's begin with an induction that happened by your special endeavor. As a new tradition has it, when someone has received the John Holloman Lifetime Achievement Award, he or she must also become a Grady Fellow. So in keeping with that, we welcome to the Grady Fellowship John Holloman Jr. honoree Sally Yates. So how did you and Sally get together?
So this is a great story. I was attending the Women in the World Summit in New York City a couple weeks ago, and I was on my Air Canada flight from Toronto to New York, and I said, I better look at the program, see what the lineup is. MasterCard was one of the lead sponsors for Women in the World. And lo and behold, I saw Sally Yates, and I thought, Sally Yates? I said, my gosh, I'm going to see her in a couple of weeks in Athens. We're bestowing the Lifetime Achievement Award and welcoming her into the fellowship. So I immediately did an email to Charles and Parker and Diane, and I said, Sally and I are at the same conference. Like, I've got to see her before I get up here and put the medal around her. And so Charles immediately replied, he said, yes, you must meet her because sadly she can't join us that evening. And the next thing I know, Parker's telling me, we're UPSing a package to the Empire Hotel tomorrow. You must bestow the medal on Sally. And then the next thing was an email from Sally saying that Charles coordinated, and she said, Jennifer, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So this, the shot you saw was after she was on stage with Tina Brown, the former editor of Vanity Fair and The New Yorker, in what was the most amazing fireside chat. And I will tell you that of all the amazing speakers that this 2.5-day summit had, Sally was the only one who had an immediate standing ovation when she came on stage and when she exited. She was brilliant. She made us Grady proud, and I was very, very fortunate to do this in New York on behalf of Grady. So that's the story.
And a great story. Thank you so much. And now we welcome to the Grady Fellowship our next honoree, Melita Easters, founder and executive director of Georgia's Win List, former chair of the Red and Black Board, and lauded author of plays on Margaret Mitchell and Harper Lee. Melita is a modern Renaissance woman, a champion of journalism, political opportunity for women, and this very program through the fellows she has nominated. We look forward to Melita's new play on Robert Woodruff and the rise of Coca-Cola. So everyone, let's give her a round of applause. Congratulations, Melita.
Dean Davis, thank you and thank Grady for this most wonderful honor. I am deeply humbled to join the distinguished company of all those who proudly wear the red ribbon from years past and my fellow 2018 inductees. Being a journalist was the perfect starting point for all my subsequent professional and volunteer activities. While I never served as editor of the Red and Black, it was my pleasure to serve as chairman of the board during the recent times of great transition as we regained solid footing for the publication. I cherish my time at Grady with the friends who came with me to Georgia from ABAC, all the new friends I made working on the Red and Black, and I'm deeply honored to share this evening with about 20 of those good friends and a handful more. I am also deeply thankful that my daughter Christina is representing herself and her sister Vanessa, who lives in Oregon, and she brought the youngest of my practically perfect 5 grandchildren. It is a great joy to have found a job with Georgia's Win List, which I love, recruiting, training, and electing women to statewide and legislative office. I am particularly pleased that your Athens State Rep, Deborah Gonzalez, was here this evening to represent the more than 60 women we have helped elect over the years, and the more than 20 new faces we expect to have endorsed on the ballot this November. Thank you very much.
Past recipient of the Henry Grady Mid-Career Award, Lisa Howard is Senior Vice President for Media at the New York Times, a position she undertakes as an honored trust. Her leadership helps sustain the work of the Times through advertising sales across the nation and around the world. She is committed to our students, generously welcoming them to the Times offices and speaking with them on its venerable history, digital innovations, importance to our public understanding, and its future. Thank you, Lisa, for always answering the Grady call. Give her a round of applause, everybody.
What a night. I had no idea. I'm really impressed with the people in the room and with the conversation. And Dean Davis, I think you were right. The theme really is resonant. And I didn't prepare kind of formal remarks, but I did think about what I wanted to say. And it's really striking to me that we're in the day and age that we're living in right now. Every single person talked about some element of trust or some element of relationship that is necessary right now, and in journalism and in media. And I would say that, I'm of course very thankful for this award, Dean Davis, and Karen King, who was kind of my light through all of these years, 26, I counted at the table earlier, after I graduated from Grady, and Parker, who's been such an important part of my alumni relationship with the university and the college. Relationships that you have helped me along the way with are really key and something that I think about quite a bit, and have been very valuable to me. And I would say that table number 1 over there, my family, who is, I think I can safely say, representing our future, 4 kids under the age of 17 at that table. I really wanted to say to you, as you all are thinking about my 2 children and my niece and nephew, that's who I'm speaking to right now, as you all are embarking on your journey to think about college and education and career and what it's going to mean, in addition to the ACT or SAT tutors, and in addition to, do I want a small town or a big town college? Think about the relationships that you're going to foster with the faculty at the university or the college that you attend, because for me, they've been critical in my career and in my success. Karen King has literally stalked me on Facebook since Facebook was first launched, and I'm so grateful for it. Perhaps Heath and Bevan and Abigail and Andrew, perhaps you'll have a chance to be as lucky as I was and have them help support you and promote you throughout your careers and your life, and maybe even one day honor you with an award. So think about that as you approach these next few years. And to the college and the Alumni Association and the faculty, thank you very much. I'm very, very grateful for this.
Okay, it's no secret that Georgia's television and film economy is a powerhouse, pumping over $9.5 billion into our economy, inspiring students and attracting talent and business from LA and the world. One of the reasons it has grown so dynamically is the leadership of alumna Lee Thomas, Deputy Commissioner at the Georgia Department of Economic Development and Division Director of the Georgia Film, Music, and Entertainment Office. Like our students, Lee is creating the future and making Georgia the peach-hallowed Hollywood of the South and East. Well done, Parker. I like that. Everyone, give it up for Lee. Thank you so much, Lee Thomas.
Thank you so much. This is very humbling, and Dean Davis promised me I'd get one of these. It's awesome. So, thank you. Our hosts tonight have allocated time for remarks based on the worthiness of each inductee into the Grady Fellowship class of 2018. So, in conclusion, I would like to thank my colleagues at the Georgia Film Office, this table here, our very small office of 6 people, of which 5 of us made it. One stayed behind. We may have an opening soon. Who have helped make us into the top location in the U.S. for film and television production. The Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication, and my pal, Dean Charles Davis, the University of Georgia, for including me with these luminaries in the Georgia Fellowship class of 2018. Thank you so much.
Dean Emeritus Cully Clark is one of the reasons that we have the Grady Fellowship and so much more at Grady. Noted civil rights historian and author of our centennial history, benefactor with his wife Mary of the Darwin Davis Award for the Grady Spirit, Cully's induction occasions a quick history lesson. In 2008, under Cully's leadership, the Grady Fellowship was created to bring together for no reason but the sake of honor and friendship people like the fellows we salute this evening. Grady held its first gala, launching the fellowship with over 50 inductions, including Jean Patterson, Don and Carolyn Carter, Claude Williams, Carolyn Teeger, Mark Smith, Gloria Taylor, Tom Landrum, Tom Johnson, Deborah Roberts, Deborah Norville, and Charlene Hunter-Galt. Nothing is expected of the fellows except a medal and our thanks. All have given so much more. On the 10th anniversary of the fellowship, please help me welcome the scion and scintillating syrup maker from Cairo and Grady County, Cully Clark.
Well, first, ditto to Barry for what he said about us and our wonderful spirit here in the Grady College. I got to thinking after Charles called me about it that I was fortunate, indeed the luckiest person I've ever known, to, starting in 1965, pay Social Security taxes as a teacher for 48 years, the last 7 of which was my dream job, being dean of this college. So much is said about the Grady spirit that it became real once I joined this faculty, staff, and wonderful student body. changed me. It confirmed me in everything that I believe to be important and good and worthy. So I am now honored to be a part of the fellowship. I was already a part of everything, but this singles it out and says why I did what I did and why I love those I did it with, and especially this assembly. When I walked in tonight and saw all those wonderful faces smiling back at me, first one was Dren Ming. You can imagine I was all in. And I'm glad to be here this evening to accept this induction into the fellowship and all it represents. Thank you.
Now to what may be one of my personal favorite moments of the evening. We are honoring a professor who has inspired me and countless others who have come through the broadcast news program at Grady. David Hazinski. Boy, where do I even begin? My goodness, he has been such a mentor to me, a career-changing and life-changing mentor to me since I was here. He held our feet to the fire. He expected nothing less than our very best. And boy, whew, you had to have a lot of patience with us. And we tested that patience. But when it was time to go, he gave us that, metaphorical swift kick in the pants and a pep talk and get out there and forge ahead and conquer the world. And we felt ready. We were ready because of you and because of Grady. So thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart. And he's been a news wizard, guys. For over 30 years, he's taught generations of students digital and broadcast journalism. Recently named Top Journalism Educator by News Pro magazine, veteran news broadcaster from NBC, David embodies the kind of real-world, in-the-trenches, professional chops that set Grady students apart. It was David who brought us Grady News Source, and along with coaching the careers of alumni like me, he is CEO of Intelligent Media Consultants, a company that has launched over a dozen national television channels, including the first private 24/7 news channels in India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. When Grady needs a big idea or a little bit of duct tape, it goes to David. And he may be retiring, but Grady is planning to install a tracking device, so you're not going too far. Will all the students and colleagues of Professor Hazinski's please stand? All right, Professor David Hazinski, welcome to the Grady Fellowship.
Thanks, Brooke. I am obviously honored to be here, but I got to tell you, I got the best end of this deal. I'll tell you about that in a minute. When I got here, I had hair, and it had a color. One of my students this semester said, "Why don't you dye it?" I said, "I can do that with a magic marker now." I've lost all that hair, but I've gained a great deal more. I got the best end of this deal. I got to work with spectacular students, some of whom are here tonight, some of whom are now friends. They're absolutely wonderful people. They're also here with my unbelievably tolerant wife. And so, oh, that's the truth. That's the truth. Linda. And of course, some family members. I've had a long and mostly successful career in what I believe is an honorable profession. That's the one thing I've always believed in, that this was a profession, this was a calling, this was something that was important for democracy. Unfortunately, it's now under some pretty massive attack by a whole bunch of different people. The students who are leaving this today have an uphill fight to restore its integrity and its honesty. The one thing I've come to realize in the last couple of years, and I've heard people tell me this for an awfully long time, it's a business. Well, it's not just a business. It is a profession. It is something that is important for democracy, and we have to look at it that way and operate that way. It's not about money. It's something, frankly, I hope the university remembers too. Sometimes I think we forget that there are students here, and that's why we live. That's what all of this is for them. You know, I really never thought I taught anything. I thought I created an environment where people would make an ass out of themselves, or they would stumble, or they would expose themselves to ridicule, and I thought that was a lot better motivator than any clever little saying that I came up with. But it was always about them. It was always about students. It's always what I've tried to be about, to have students in the center of this so that they get something out of it, so they're there. I hope the university remembers this. I hope our profession survives what we're going through now. I have faith from watching 30 years of kids grow into massively powerful, intelligent, significant, not just journalists, but also human beings. I know that you're here to honor me, and I appreciate that. But know that honoring me, in fact, honors them, and for that I'm grateful. Thank you.